Lean in. It's cliche, but I love the saying, adventure begins when things go wrong. Because, well, they always do. Have you ever taken a planned group vacation? Yeah, me neither. But I know a few that have, and even though every tiny detail is proposed, scheduled, and executed, something always goes wrong. You can plan any trip right down to where you're going to wash your underwear, but things will always go wrong. I like that though, and you should too. It's the challenges that make life worth living. Without the downs, the ups would feel like eating ice cream without chocolate syrup, or those little sprinkles. How boring would it be if you knew how to ride a motorcycle before you actually rode one? You had to go through those challenges before getting to where you are now. And that, my friends, is why challenging yourself by touring on a small displacement motorcycle is one of life's tastiest challenges. How do you prepare for a small displacement adventure so that you can be in a good spot to enjoy all the challenges of that when things go wrong type of adventure? This is something that's meaningful to me, so let's get into it. The first and most important step is to ignore everyone that tells you you can't or shouldn't do it. Believe me when I say that there will be a ton of people saying, why don't you ride a bigger bike? How will you store everything on that bike? Get some balls and get off that girl's bike. You're crazy to ride that bike. Why not just ride the wooden 2x4? How do you store everything on that bike? How do you vibrations? Don't listen to all the noise. If I listened to anyone telling me I couldn't ride long distance on a small displacement bike, I would not have had the adventure along Route 66 on my Iron 883. The most satisfying part of all this is proving everyone wrong and proving to yourself that you could do it despite all the naysayers. Another important factor is setting your bike up for the journey to fit your needs. Yeah, you need to do this with any bike, but it's especially true for a smaller displacement bike. Whether you're packing your living room on your bike or credit card touring, adventure can be had. Once you decide your adventure, you need to figure out how much you need or want to take with you. Small displacement bikes not only have smaller engines, they have less space to carry gear. It's important to accept some sacrifices, like packing a less comfortable sleeping pad, stopping more often for food and water, or leaving behind that milk frother. It's important to decide on a great setup before you begin a long adventure. I ultimately decided on my controversial non-saddlebag setup after riding many shakedown rides. Near the end of the Route 66 trip, I put together a video where I explained in detail why I chose that setup. Some viewers embraced it, while others thought I was a bit crazy not to use saddlebags. Check the video out and let me know what you think in the comments. Not only is the gear you choose and how to secure it to your bike important, but also how you set up your bike. Do you need to upgrade your suspension for more weight? Is your seat comfortable enough for long rides? Do you need to change your handlebars for better riding position? Do you need a windshield? If so, how big? I asked myself these and many other questions before I planned most anything else. In the end, I changed only my seat and my handlebars. Sure, I did the stage 2 with the louder than Hades Vance and Hines big radius pipes, and tuned the bike with an FP3. But the impact of the stage 2 on how my bike handled long adventures was nominal. Back to shakedown rides. I'll say this with a lot of weight. You need to do a shakedown ride. Let me say that again. You need to do a shakedown ride. Write that on the back of your windshield. Tie a string around your finger. Put a sock in your doorknob. Whatever you need to do to remember to do a shakedown ride. Heading out and realizing your setup sucks is not the type of when things go wrong adventure you want. When you do a shakedown ride, try different setups with both gear and your bike. As far as riding position for long adventure, my Biltwell chumps were the perfect bars, but I had so many issues getting them to not slip that I had to try so many different things to get them to stay put. All the shakedown rides helped me determine the best way. If you're considering the Biltwell chumps, check out the 5 or so videos I have on just those bars alone. Finally, one of the most important things to do to prepare is to get to know your bike. Many of those naysayers I mentioned earlier said my iron was too small and rev too high to comfortably ride long distance on the super slab. What I did was figure out the sweet spots of this bike. What RPMs were comfortable at each shift and what speed I can stay at for 130 miles comfortably before filling up again was necessary. Knowing your bike, not just the model you have, but knowing your bike, and finding that balance between what it can do and what you can make it do is really important. What else do you think you need to prepare for a small displacement adventure? Leave a comment below, let me